Hi there, thank you for joining me today. Today, instead of doing the singing that we usually do, I'm going to talk about some of the basics of musicianship and sort of music theory, and specifically as it pertains to piano. Having a keyboard, even if you don't plan on learning to play the piano, having a keyboard is a really great way to start to understand how to read music and listen to music in sort of an organized way, because it's very visual. So the very first thing I want you to do, whether you actually have a keyboard or if you can just sort of see the mirror image of mine or even looking at a picture of one, is to identify the fact that first we have black keys and white keys. And the black keys are in groups of 2 and 3. And this helps us organize our way around the keyboard. So if you're at one right now, I want you to just go ahead and go 2, 3, 2, 3, identifying and making note that we've got sets of 2s and 3s. If you have a rogue one, like I have just a single right here, that's just, that's the end of a section of 3 that isn't complete within the 88 key spectrum of the keyboard. Now, let's talk about the music alphabet. It runs from A through G. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then it repeats. And the reason that it repeats, it can kind of be understood by going ahead and looking at our keyboard. Find a set of 3, any set of 3, and there's 1, 2, 3. A is in between the second and third of the set of 3. So 1, 2, 3, here's 2, 3, and there's A. And if we go ahead up, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, if you were to notice, the next one you would play, ta-da, is also between 2 and 3 in the set of 3. And then you continue B, C, D, E, F, G, A, and there she is, in between 2 and 3 in the set of 3. So, and they sound alike, you can hear. These are lower, these are higher, but it's the same general pitch. So that's why we don't go up to H, because there's not actually that many specific notes in our tonal musical language. So we've got A through G. For our purposes, it's actually easiest to begin at C. It does make it kind of confusing because you go C, D, E, F, G, A, B, but it's actually easier to find C. And that's one of the reasons. The other reasons aren't interesting. But that's one of the reasons that we like to start with C, is because it's a little bit easier to find. It's in front of the set of 2. So when I'm, just a little side note, when I'm talking about down, it's this way, if you're looking at the piano, to the left, and that's going lower, actually lower in pitch. And if I'm talking about up, it's going to the right, and that's going higher. We'll hear it going up in pitch. So the C is to the left or below the set of 2. So go ahead and identify all the C's, and it should sound like this. It should basically, those are your C's. So now we have C, D, E, F, G, and then again we start the alphabet over, A, B, C, and it'll go on and on and on and on and on and on. All right, so that's your absolute basics. Now, put your hands up and wiggle your thumbs. These are going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I want you to wiggle going up or going to the right. So your 5 in your left hand and your 1 in your right hand. Go ahead. These. Don't worry if your fingers don't move as independently as mine. Mine have a lot of training. You might find that when you try to wiggle some of them, the others like to go. Okay, now what you're going to do is take your right hand and put your finger 1, your thumb, on middle C. And middle C is in the middle. It might not be exactly depending on how your keyboard is oriented, but if you're sitting sort of in the middle of your keyboard, it's going to be right there. So take that thumb, put her there, and then take each digit and put it on the corresponding white keys. So that's going to be C, D, E, F, G. And with your left hand, again, we're not doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because that's going to move backwards. In this case, we're going to do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So take your 5, which is your pinky, and find that on C. That's, again, it's going to sound like this, or it's going to be to the left of the set of 2 black keys. And do the one that's the next closest to where your right hand currently is. And then 5 on the C, 4 on the D, 3 on the E, 2 on the F, thumb or finger 1 on the G. And let's try that a couple of times, just going bum, 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 if you're feeling kind of adventurous, try both hands at once, going slowly, please. And now go backwards, G down to C, and. Now let's go up and then back down, and. Just try the left hand. And the right hand. And both hands. Okay, look at that, you're playing piano. That's part of a C major scale is what we're playing. Now, again, if it was feeling nearly impossible to play both hands at the same time, especially if this is the first time you've ever actually sat down and tried to touch the piano in an organized way, don't worry about it. It's a muscle thing, and your brain and your eyes and your fingers all need to catch up to each other. So take your time, go really slowly. It's something that we tend to want to do. Even an advanced player, when they go down to practice, needs to remind themselves to work slowly. It's much more important to get it and to get the connectivity, like I said, between, from brain to piano than it is to do it fast. Okay, so that is going to be, I think that's probably enough for right now, honestly. That's your absolute basic introduction to the beginning of piano playing and music theory. We've got our musical alphabet, which is A, B, C, D, E, F, G. We understand and organize the piano keyboard. It's in black and white keys, and with A being in between the second and third of the set of three. And knowing that, you can identify that's maybe a good exercise for you to do on your own right now, is to be like, okay, where are all the Ds? All of the Ds are in between the first 1 and 2 in the sets of 2. So D. And if you ever get lost, you can use C as your benchmark. C is in front of the set of 2. So here's 2, here's C. And from there, I can find anybody. I know that A is going to be 2 below C. A, C, B, A. I know the F is going to be 3 above C. C, D, E, F. All right. I hope that wasn't too much too fast. If it was totally not enough, you can just wait for another video where we get a little bit more advanced. I will get into some explanation of how to read music, how to create chords, how to accompany yourself, how to come up with your own little ditties. But for today, that was the absolute basics. And I hope you had a good time. And there we go. Bye-bye.